live at Capitol Hill. We mentioned that resolution from Congressman Mike Waltz. Here it is. The People's Republic of China and the Chinese Communist Party have taken unprecedented steps in the last year to extend their repressive policies through censorship, intimidation, and the detention of individuals and groups for exercising their fundamental human rights, especially the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region and Hong Kong. The House of Representatives urges that the International Olympic Committee should transfer the 2022 Olympic Games to a site other than within the People's Republic of China. If the International Olympic Committee rejects such a proposal, the United States Olympic Committee and the Olympic committees of other countries should withdraw from the 2022 Winter Olympic Games. Back with the panel, Bill, it does put the administration in a bit of a bind. You have Secretary of State Tony Blinken, who has said that China is committing genocide against the Uyghurs. They have major problems on policy fronts, and as we just said, agree with the Trump administration on a number of those fronts. What about this resolution and how far it goes or doesn't?
Well, the resolution is just a tiny little window into China. I'm with Harold on this. I think the Trump administration deserves extraordinary credit for refocusing on China and the multiple threats it has to us, economically, militarily, and so forth. Its interventions, its role in institutions such as the WHO. They're going to challenge us on every front. I think you could say, though I supported a lot of Donald Trump's policies in terms of withdrawing from the WHO and some of these other kind of bogus international institutions. The price of that is that you then leave those totally to China to dominate and so forth. So I would say I wouldn't write off, there is an avenue for the Biden administration if they can use the U.S. role in these organizations to increase the pressure on China. For example, Trump famously rejected the Trans-Pacific Partnership economic grouping that would have brought all these countries that have similar beefs with China's trade policy to pressure China. Instead, we went it alone, and I think we could be stronger. But make no mistake, China wants dominance in the region, and it's flexing its muscles, and it's done this before. If you remember George W. Bush, when he got in, they played bumper cars with one of our surveillance planes and forced it down. So they're testing now on all these fronts to see if we're going to make any kind of protest or flex our muscles.
Yeah. Harold, quickly, there's also this push and pull with businesses inside the U.S. that do a lot of business in China, and how that interacts with the administration. The Trump administration was tough on all of this.
Well, I think that the Biden administration should follow course. Again, I'm encouraged. First of all, I resemble a lot of the remarks that Bill has made there. I do think the reason you would stay in any of these organizations would create some uncomfortability in our parties because you want to build a coalition of people against China on these things. The question we have to answer fundamentally, and I think the administration and Congress is recognizing that America, the 20th century was America's century, and the 21st century should be our century too. But the competition we will face from China, it will be very different, very stiff, and unrelenting, and we'll have to offer a similar kind of resistance and fight to ensure that we make this century ours again.